Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is HorseRacingNation.com editor Jarrod Horak. I'm going to do the feature race of the week. This feature race will be for Saturday, July 3rd. Let's go over to Monmouth Park, race 10, the Grade 1 United Nations. It's going to be for 3-year-olds and up. They're going to be traveling 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf course. We have a 9-horse field. Looks like there's going to be a lot of pace in this race. Number 2, Get Serious, is an early runner. Look for number 3, Acclamation, to go out. Possibly even number 4, Straight Story. If the pace scenario does play out that way, that could bode well for the chances of number 5, Winchester. He's won 2 races in a row. Couple starts back on April 21st, 1.5 miles over the Keeneland turf course. It was a slow pace. He set up close. He was able to win nicely by a half length. Then he came back on June 5th, the Belmont Stakes undercard, the Grade 1 Manhattan. It was a decent pace that day. He came from 7.5 lengths back. He rallied from 9th in an 11-horse field to get up to win by a half. He beat his stablemate Giopani that day. So now he's gone for his 3rd win in a row. He's going to stretch back out. Last win was 10 furlongs. He won at 12 furlongs on April 21st. So now 11 furlongs. Gets some pace to chase, and I would expect that he definitely could be along in time if he can run back to that last race. He's a 2-time Grade 1 winner. He's got the class. Pace scenario plays in his favor. 7-2 morning line. A little bit of value there as well. But my second choice in here is going to be number 3, Acclamation. He's also 7-2 on the morning line. He's won 2 races in a row, both at Hollywood Park. In those 2 races, he opened up big early leads. He was able to hold on nicely. A couple starts back on May 15th. The Grade 2 Jim Murray. He just went out by 10 lengths. He was able to just cruise home, winning by over 7 lengths. Last time, cut back to 10 furlongs. The Grade 1 Charles Whittingham. In that race, again, he opened up an easy lead. They went 49 for the half, and he just coasted home to win nicely by 1.5 lengths. So now he's going to stretch back out today. He does meet those 2 pace factors, as I mentioned. Number 2, Get Serious, who loves his turf course. He's 8 for 10, except he doesn't have a lot of stamina. He did win in 1 mile and 1/8 last time. I think that 1 mile and 3/8 is going to be too far for him, especially with Acclamation and Straight Story in here as well. So I think Get Serious is in a little bit of trouble, but Acclamation, if he can go out and discourage the other speed horses, he may just do what he did in his last 2 starts and just go wire to wire. Number 4, Straight Story, possibly to be thrown in underneath. I did mention he's 10-1 morning line. He's also won 2 races in a row very easily against New York bred company a couple of starts back. Then last time right here at Monmouth Park. He is stepping up from allowance company back into the stakes ranks. But he did have some moderate success in the graded turf stakes ranks as a 3-year-old last year. He traded decisions with number 7, Take the Points, who's 3-1 morning line. Straight Story at 10-1. Maybe a good one to throw in underneath. Another horse to look at will be my 3rd choice in here. Number 8, Chin Chun, coming in from France, 5-1 morning line. He's run 3 times this year, all in group company. He started the year by winning a Group 3. On his last 2 starts, he finished 6th and 4th in Group 2 and Group 1 company. He has run once in the United States, and in that race, that was last July, of the Grade 1 Man o' War. I mentioned Giopani earlier. He did run against Giopani that day, and he finished 4th by 3 lengths. He steadied on the first turn, didn't get a lot of pace help. Does have some quality. He did win that group race earlier this year in France, and I think he does have enough ability here. The pace should play in his favor. Garrett Gomez will ride, probably sit back, try to make a nice late run. So that's how this race seems to shape up. Now, how to bet this race? I would say I'm going to make a win bet on number 5, Winchester, and then I'm going to take a trifecta. I'm going to put Winchester on top of 4 horses. The first horse I'm going to put him on top of number 1, Telling, who I did not mention yet. He did win a Group 1 last year. He won a Grade 1 last year, and he does like to come from off the pace. Hasn't gotten a lot of pace help this year. I think he will today, and I think he can come in and sneak in at a price at 10-1. So as I mentioned, okay, make this trifecta. Winchester on top of number 1, Telling. Also in this trifecta, I think we want to throw in number 4, Straight Story, who's also 10-1 on the line. I'll throw in number 3, Acclamation, and number 8, Chin Chun. So that'll be a trifecta key, 5 over the 1, 3, 4, 8. If you're playing it for $1, that'll cost $12. And then maybe one more trifecta. We're going to put 3 horses in 1st and 2nd. We're going to put Acclamation, Take the Points, Acclamation, Winchester, and Chin Chun. Put those horses in 1st and 2nd in your trifectas, and then throw 2 long shots in 3rd. The 2 long shots that you want to throw in 3rd will be number 1, Telling, and also number 4, Straight Story. So if you do a 3x3x5 trifecta for $1, it will cost you $18. There's another graded race run at Monmouth on Saturday, July 3rd. That'll be the 11th race. That's going to be the Grade 3 Salvatore Mile. 3-year-olds and up. We're going to be going 1 mile on the main track. I do note that this race will be run around 2 turns. A lot of tracks like Belmont Park or Gulfstream Park, they run 1 mile races around 1 turn. This is a 2-turn race. Number 1 Munnings, 8-5 favorite. He could be best around 1 turn. I also think that is the case with number 2, La Grande Crew. And another one that I think is better around 1 turn, possibly number 3, You and I Forever at 5-2 on the morning line. The horse I think to beat in this 5-horse field is going to be number 4, Duke of Mischief. He is best around 2 turns. He's done the bulk of his damage around 2 turns. He's also 2 for 2 at a flat mile. Last time against Grade 1 company in the Stephen Foster, he stalked the pace before weakening to finish 8th. If you throw out his Grade 1s, it's pretty consistent. He did win the Oaklawn Handicap, a Grade 2 race, won that one nicely stalking the pace. He did win a Grade 3 at Gulfstream Park earlier in the year. That was 1 mile around 1 turn. But as I mentioned, he handles 2 turns just fine. He has that good tactical speed, has plenty of class. Throw out those Grade 1 races, as I mentioned, has a pretty good record. I think he's just going to stalk the pace, wear this group down 3-1 on number 4, Duke of Mischief. I just recommend a win bet on that horse. Well, that'll wrap up my coverage of the feature races for July 3rd. I'll probably be back next week to discuss a few more graded stakes races from around the country. Again, this is HorseRacingNation.com editor Jarrod Horak. Good luck at the races.